So let's start from the beginning. So this is Pavel. Pavel is our main guy in the Spiral framework development team, and myself. I'm working in the Roadrunner and building a server for all this ecosystem. And as you can see, Pavel has a great T-shirt with the Spiral Framework developer on it, and I have also some merch on my head. It's a Roadrunner merch. Okay, so let's read our release notes from the beginning. So, like for me, I'll just provide you some examples on some news about the recent Roadrunner releases, and especially about Roadrunner, of course, and documentation, plugins, and so on. So, and also we will build with you guys Roadrunner with Velox. I'll show you how to build it easily, even on Windows. So yeah, okay, let's start. So first of all, we deprecated New Relic middleware. We did this because we need to provide you, our users, a unified standard on how to connect to OpenTelemetry providers, how to get your traces, and so on. So for us, we updated our New Relic middleware, and we moved to the OpenTelemetry middleware. So please consider to update your configuration. So this is only the thing you need to do, is to update the configuration, just to remove the New Relic middleware and use the OpenTelemetry middleware from the Roadrunner YAML configuration. The next thing is we continuously working on the documentation, and we updated our documentation recently. So this has happened, and we put everything related to our plugins to the separate section called plugins. And here you can find everything about the plugin, starting from how to build the plugin, explanation about the interfaces using to build this plugin, and how to integrate your plugin inside a Roadrunner, and so on. And you can find, for example, gRPC, where is located gRPC client. You can just navigate to the repository. We can see this Pavel here. And everything related to the gRPC configuration, sample of worker, what is the dependencies of this plugin, and so on. And also some common issues which you can face when working with this protocol, for example. The next thing is we recently updated our binaries we should put to the releases. Especially we added Debian and all Debian derivatives like Ubuntu, like Linux Mint, MX Linux, and so on. So every Debian-based distros now supported with the deb binary inside the releases of the Roadrunner. You can find it right here, like with the extension deb. And easily install it with sudo dpkg-i and install like usual thing in the Ubuntu. The next thing is we added the certificates to verify the binary. So now you will be able to verify the binary, downloaded binary. This is trusty, and this is downloaded from the trusty source. And you can also verify the key, which is binary sign is this is my key. You can see my name is my email. The next thing is one of the interesting thing, as I mentioned before, is OpenTelemetry. You can see configuration here. You can now use it, and we recently updated our product Gen PHP gRPC plugin to generate stubs for the PHP, and now it supports optional fields. So yeah. And yeah, we also fixed a ton of bugs. We fixed provide a lot of feature requests to you, our users. And so the next release, 2.10.1, was also very exciting release for us, because a lot of features were included into this release. Especially now you can consume all payloads from the UQs. Like, for example, in previous version, like before 2.10.1, it won't be possible to download. To consume a payload from the queue, for example, from the IMQP or RabbitMQ. So you should properly form your payload in the job structure and then send to the queue, and then only then Roadrunner can consume it. But now you can specify a consume all true option, and Roadrunner will generate the structure for you. It just consumes a binary byte data located in this message, get everything from the headers, like for example for the RabbitMQ, and send this payload to the worker. So it's safe to use on production. So HTTP plugin supports mutual TLS authentication. So like gRPC, HTTP plugin can now be you can provide root certificates to it and use mutual TLS authentication. You can also navigate to this link and read what is this exactly the thing, what is a mutual TLS is. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to show you guys today is Velox. So of course we also have exciting release 2.10.2, because now it's possible to for the worker to show the full message when worker fails on the bootstrap. For example, pushing some message to the std out. Now Roadrunner is able to consume the whole message from the socket and not block for forever. HTTP connection can be upgraded, as of course is an exciting thing. So because previously we were avoided this header called upgrade, and if the request contained this header, it won't be possible to upgrade the connection, because Roadrunner rejects some such connections. And Velox, our tool to build Roadrunner with your custom plugins, now has GitLab support, starting from the beta 0.2 release. So it's safe to use in production such builds, but it marked beta 2 because we have to tune some configurations, we have to tune some let's say things inside which can be breaking, and starting from the release 1.0 provide you stable release which you can rely on. So now I'll show you Pavel, but Pavel, don't be so happy. Now we will have some
exciting coding session.
Okay, so let's start from the what I wanted to show you guys. I wanted to show you what is Velox and how easily build a Roadrunner with it. So just imagine a situation. You'll have some requirement for your environment, like requirement for the environment, and you need to you can solve this with PHP. Just imagine some task you can solve with PHP, because you need to have an extra performance, for example, and you wanted to and you have an expertise in Golang, and you wanted to create a plugin for Roadrunner, but you don't want to do such like boring things like, okay, I need to clone Roadrunner repository, I have to find where to attach my plugin, I have to do some things to fix the issues, to fix the support commits from the origin, and so on. So with Velox, you don't need to do all of the things. You only need to install it. Like you can install it with a command from the repository. Let me just copy and paste it. You can use, of course, you can use a Docker, but I'll show you how it works like on my machine without the Docker. Like go install if you have Go, or if you don't have a Go, which is like a likely scenario for you. If you don't have a Golang, you can just download it from the releases page. And as you can see, we now have Velox, so in our path, and let's try to build Roadrunner with 4 plugins included. Of course, you can use every plugin, so you can just copy and paste configuration located in the repository and just specify a VX build and so on. But let me just navigate you step by step what those arguments are. First of all, we have some build args, some weird for the eye. Like for example, what is trim path? Trim path is a special argument for going to trim the path which, like for example, if you have some user paths like username, home, etc., etc. So with trim path, everything up to package name will be trimmed from the releases from the binary. Now we have some linker flags. First of all, flag -s tells us to build the binary without debug symbols and without string table. -x and this word thing tells us to set the version of the Roadrunner, which will be specified when you type Roadrunner version, to version 2.10.2. Like you can have your own version in here, but keep in mind that in this case you have to be very careful because we use a configuration plugin which checks the Roadrunner version. Like, so you should be, it's better to follow just the Roadrunner releases. It's not a problem, I guess. And build time, you can specify it by like manually, like I specified, or use some script and use it from some environment variable. Next is what is the base for these plugins? It will be Roadrunner, and the reference is release 2.10.2. And you can also use master, or you can use any ref like hash commit or branch name, for example. Next thing is to specify GitHub token. So GitHub token should be specified because GitHub allows us to only, I guess, 5 or 10, so very little number of downloads via its API from the unauthenticated users. So this token can be with just token notification token, like which used to just show the notification, your notification from the GitHub. So it's very limited rights token. So it's could be anything just which can just say that you is an authenticated user. Next thing is to use our plugins here. Here we just need to Logger, Server, HTTP, and RPC. Also keep in mind that this is names. It's just names. You can say, like, for example, LLLL. So it doesn't matter. What does matter is a repository which implements like Logger, for example. And our new feature, GitLab, you can use both from the GitLab your plugins and from the GitHub. You can also use your private GitLab instances, like if your company, for example, deployed on some server, on some like internal server, its own GitLab like repositories, so you can use it here without any problems. And as my this test repository is located on the public GitLab, so we can use like reference main, owner it's me or it's you or your company, and the repository should be in the numbers format because it's some weird thing from GitLab, so you have to have like the project ID here, and the logs, and that's it. So okay, let's now try to build our Roadrunner instance. I'll hide you, I'm sorry guys, I'll hide config toml because I need to specify my token. Just give me a second. I'll open it into a different window. Okay, where's my token? Generate. So as I mentioned, you need to only notification scope for your token. So you don't need a lot of allowance or scopes for your token. You just need to verify that it's authenticated user. Okay, I generated a token. And let's try to build. So we need to specify val axis vx build minus c configuration is config toml, and please output binary to the current directory. And you can see that we are like fetching, as we turned on the debug logs, we're fetching everything from our GitHub and GitLab repositories. And as you can see that you can see here where this tool saves everything. It's artifacts, like it's under temp folder. It can take a little time, I guess, minute, up to minute, no more, I guess. I know it's not so interesting, so interesting part will be from the pile. Yeah. Well, how is it going?
Fine, thank you.
Fine.
I'm looking forward to
Nice. So now we have to specify that this is executable file because it's Windows, yeah. .exe, and we'll use just like simple configuration for the Roadrunner, as you can see here. Just RPC, a simple worker which can only send us like hello world, and like HTTP plugin with access logs turned to true. Oh, sorry. Serve. And it works, and as you can see here, we see that this is version 2.10.2, and this is build time 10 o'clock, and everything started fine. And let's try to like to ping our endpoint. And as you can see, everything goes fine. It's status 200, and in the browser you can see like hello world. And you can include basically any plugin. As you can see, I'm plugin 1 and I'm plugin 2 here. Those plugins, those output from the plugins from the GitLab. It's just test output to identify that those plugins are executed correctly. Okay, so I guess that's it from my side about our news. Okay, now we can move to the interesting section, and we can move to Pavel and his exciting story
about the spiral framework.
Okay, Pavel, the floor is yours. Go on.
Okay, hello guys. Thank you, Valery, for your speech. You are so
You're
smart.
welcome. You're so
And
thank you so much.
I need to share my screen.
Yeah.
My beautiful presentation at first. Woohoo! Here is it. Okay, let's begin. Hello guys, it's time for another episode of the Spiral Framework News. It is episode 5. I'm Pavel. Thank you so much for watching us, and let's begin. Our PHP team has worked hard this month, and in this episode we will take a look at the new things that we are added to Spiral Framework 3.0 Alpha 2. The first thing that has been changed in the is the PHP version. It was increased up to 8.1, and we also got rid of all deprecations connected with the first version of Roadrunner and with the cycle ORM. Now you can use Roadrunner only through Spiral Roadrunner bridge package, and here you can see all deprecated components and Roadrunners and cycle ecosystem packages. Now you can use Roadrunner only through Spiral Roadrunner bridge package and Cycle ORM through Spiral Cycle bridge package. That's all. No more extra packages in Spiral framework. Since this release, we have only one implementation of queue via Spiral queue component, and forget about Spiral jobs. No more Spiral jobs, Spiral broadcast, dumper. We cleaned Spiral validation package and moved Spiral data grid into Spiral data grid bridge.
No.
Next, we completely redesigned the exception handler, Spiral filters, and Spiral validation components, improved console commands, and added new enums injector. Okay, let's take a look at the new exception handler. Now you can replace the default exception handler with your implementation at application bootstrapping right here. Right here you can set your custom implementation as string or as an object. And for example, you may add a new exception renderer or reporter for a specific environment, like here. You can specify format that will be handled by this console renderer. In this example, it's clear, and tell how to render exception via this console renderer. Next one, filters. What about filters? It doesn't need a validator from Spiral validation component anymore. It uses PHP attributes for input data mapping, and if you need, it can be automatically validated in the process of resolving through the container. and now it supports third-party validators such as Spiral Validator, a new component, Spiral Packages Symfony Validator, and Spiral Packages Laravel Validator. And here is an example. For example, we have user controller with create user method, and we want to inject create user filter, and it will be automatically validated before mapping, after mapping, sorry. And an example of create user filter. Here you can see attributes, mapping attributes. This property will be mapped from post with the same attribute name, and another examples. It's like in previous Spiral framework version, but as attributes. And in this example, I show Symfony filter that use Symfony constraints for validation constraints with validation rules, and new filters will automatically validate according these rules this filter and inject it into create user method, and you can use properties with mapped data. That's all. Looks good. Next one, we redesigned validation component. It doesn't have validator implementation out of the box, out of the box, and but you can create your own implementation or use one of the existing validators, like I told about them earlier. Next thing that we improved is Spiral Console component. We added an ability to set comment names with arguments and options like in Laravel. You can see an example here. And now you can create named sequences, for example, for publishing assets, and you just need to add console commands in a sequence with specific name, and then just run the sequence like here. And the last thing is enum injector. It will help you to resolve PHP enums through the container and assign value to it via the method specified in the provided from attribute. You can see here an attribute with specified detect method, and this method will be used to assign value to this enum, and when you try to resolve this enum via container, it will be automatically run this method and assign value and return created object. And you can use enum injector, for example, for something that, for example, for check current environment, or maybe maintenance mode or something else. That's all. Thank you, guys.
You're so fast, Pavel.
Yeah. We don't
But
have a lot of changes like you.
but what do you expect from the recent from the release like 3.0? It should be like very a very big release. It's a huge milestone for you. I guess you with PHP team worked on it like for the past 6 months, I guess.
Yeah.
So
You're right. And I think it will be a good release because we got rid of a lot of old stuff, and we cleaned up everything. We used the latest version of PHP, and I think this the best. It will be the best release for us, and for start a new step. In,
Like
uh,
framework.
yeah.
So it
You're
will be
right.
fine, yeah. Because from the guys who are watching, who are on the stream, so Pavel and the team worked very hard on this release, and really waiting for you guys to give some feedback on this release, to give some like advices, for example, and you how to use examples. How did you use this thing? Or I'm not a PHP guy. I'm sorry. I can explain what were included into this release, but as far as I understand, from my point of view, this is a very exciting release for you and for your team, like who you are leading for. Okay, guys. So I'll wait for a few seconds, I guess. If you have any questions, I don't see a lot of watching guys us on online, but I guess it will be fine to ask us questions on our Discord channel. It's also suitable. It's not a problem. Okay, like, but we fit up to 42 minutes. So every
For you.
every how to say, every stream will starting from some technical problems, like particular every stream. So on the previous stream, guys, I'll tell you, I developed some plugins. So because now we are using Streamlabs, and Streamlabs provide you a feature to stream to different sources. So for example, you can stream to Twitch or and YouTube. How we are currently doing, we're streaming to the Twitch and to the YouTube simultaneously. But so you have to pay to Streamlabs like $145 per year for the functionality. Yeah, and I developed some plugin. So, like, from my point of view, that plugin was awesome. It was developed in C++, and in my test environment, it works very good. So, but
Sound, but when you want to have sound, you will have a lot of problems.
yeah, because
It's like our thing.
Yeah. Because the problem is when I tested it on YouTube without a 4K resolution. But if you, when you are streaming, if you specify like ultra low latency, you have to stream in Full HD only. You can't stream in 4K, and the plugin crashed, totally crashed. It like destroyed whole Open Broadcast Studio, and I have to delete all of the things. Have a lot of stress, but yeah, guys have a lot of stress, not me, I guess. Yeah. Yes.
I want to say help, or I want to say thank you for Kirill, because he helped us discovering that we don't have sound.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
without him, we will have.
We will be muted during the whole stream. Yeah, like Mehmet's show, like, yeah. So, okay, guys, that was very nice to see you all on the stream, and stay tuned. We will stream every month about the news, and also I wanted from Pavel to stream more often about his development, because we are working on open source product, and that's very exciting for us to show what we're working for you guys. Like, it's very exciting to show how Roadrunner works, how to develop a plugin, how to develop such things. And now I'm trying to force Pavel as much as possible to start streaming its like development process, how it works under the hood. But I guess sometimes we'll see. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for attending us, and have a good weekend. And bye bye.